to be, and it comes with like a lot of values that I'm very pro-woman, and I believe in women's equality, and I believe in like empowering women, but I find that a lot of feminism does the exact opposite, which is why I call myself an anti-feminist.
Based.
Yeah.
Wait, who here's a feminist?
How can you like?
But like, what exactly?
In definition, definitely.
In definition?
I think
Yeah,
it has to be your
yes.
personal definition, because
that's
anybody,
fair.
because, you know, like somebody who's a radical feminist, for example, like would call a lot of women who call themselves feminists, like that, say that they're not feminists.
But before we get into the feminist conversation, I just want to thank Sweet Tooth. I know we read it, but thank you, Sweet Tooth, for the super chat. Appreciate all your support tonight and in previous streams. And then we just have one here from Streamlabs. We have Shania. Can you read this?
This is me shouting out Shania as the GOAT every show she's on.
Can you make a goat
Shania.
noise?
I don't think I can.
What noises do
They go
goats
like,
make? Yeah, can you do it?
Nah.
Do it. Come on, please,
I did it
please.
I'm not warmed
Don't
up.
put peer pressure.
What do you mean? You don't need a come on.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff
Just
going on.
give us a little meh.
A little meh.
Okay, all right. Stoically, thank you, man. Appreciate the donation. Okay, so feminism. Just show of hands. Who considers themselves a feminist? Whatever your sense of that word is. Okay.
All right.
Were you gonna raise your hand?
I mean, I'm like a woman's woman.
Wait, can you scoot the mic closer towards you and just tilt the mic down just a tad? You're a woman's woman.
Yeah, like you know.
Are you a boss babe?
A boss babe?
Are you a boss babe?
She's
What
a
is,
boss
I mean,
babe.
I'm a boss.
Are you a boss ass?
I mean,
She's married to the money, of course.
She's married to the
She
money.
is.
You're married to the game.
But I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to like make that a bad thing. By
No,
saying, like,
I'm just
boss
asking.
ass, Are you a
I'm just
boss
asking.
babe? Like you making fun of that.
Yeah, kind of, but whatever.
Yeah, you are. So that's why I'm not saying anything
Fair
bad.
enough. Okay, but are you a feminist? You three, right? Raised
Okay.
your
So
hands.
you wanna,
Well,
Okay, you know.
So I actually we can start with you, and then we'll work our way that way.
Okay.
What's your definition?
Of
Wait.
feminism.
Actually, let me just read this super chat from Mike Davis really quick. Yo, Mike Davis. Actually, Madison, can you read it?
You goofs don't realize I'm a multimillionaire and did so
This
without
guy.
selling my soul. $100 to me is less than 1 cent to you. Entertainment money. The West is the lost cause. I'm just enjoying watching it burn. I got foreign woman, much prettier than you basics who worship me. This is Mike Davis, by the way.
So is this like your
This is his main sponsor.
main sponsor guy?
Boom.
define our worship of you, please.
But at the end of the day, money doesn't buy happiness.
It does. You know, there's a new study that
Yes,
proves
I
that
just
money
saw
does
that.
increase happiness.
I think it
Security.
can increase
Fuck
happiness
yeah.
because you're not as stressed out financially. But at the end of the day, long term, that's why you see all these celebrities commit suicide or doing drugs because they can't find that love. Humans, at the end of the day, like want love. We all just want love and acceptance. It's not just about money and materialistic things.
It does make you happier.
It makes you feel
I
happier.
think too much
yes.
money can really corrupt
Yeah.
Yeah.
and cause a lot of issues in your life.
Yeah.
I think there's a balance of being like wealthy and be able to provide for your family. That'll bring a lot of happiness.
You know what
Yeah.
though? My thinking is that, like, let's say you you had some experience in the workforce for a couple years. You're a wage slave. It sucks. Maybe you're doing physical labor. Maybe you're sitting for 10 hours a day at a cubicle. That to me is draining. So I think money would make you happier insofar as if you came into such a significant amount of money that you could retire, say for example at 25 or 30, it would be hard for me to, if I came into such an amount of money where I could just never work again, I would be pretty happy. Like,
You wouldn't want to work, like at all, do anything.
honestly, like
You'd get bored of it quick.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think I
like
would.
50 more
I don't think
You
I
have to
would.
have like a family or a good hobby.
Yeah, you
I
need
feel
to build.
Yeah.
Oh, I
need to
have
build.
hobbies. I have hobbies. If someone just put $30 million in my bank right now, I'd probably just retire.
Podcast would be
Dopamine.
over.
I'd just chill. Maybe I'd still do a podcast, but I'd.
Well, that's why you see a
No,
lot of
I
like
don't-
super
this-
rich
dude,
people
this shit's
doing
way too
random
stressful,
things
not
because
gonna
they're
lie.
kind of bored and they like start things because they're bored and they're kind of just bored, you know, because they have so much money.
Kids get
I
a
wouldn't
3D
be bored.
printer and
I
they
wouldn't be
like are
bored.
bored with life after.
Go buy like a little
They're like-
go-kart or something, ride around
And then you get bored after that. Everything is temporary.
Tech
It's
is
not
really
temporary
suiting up,
happiness.
though.
Yeah, but like being a
Tech
wage
is really
slave
getting
is
cool.
not happiness. Sitting at a
Oh well, yeah, of
cubicle
course.
for 10 hours a
Wage
day.
cuck.
But
That's why it's good to choose the career path that makes you happy and something
What?
you're actually passionate about. no
Hello,
matter what the
Eric.
money
Hello,
makes.
hello.
I do agree with
Why are
like
you in-
the
Oh my
point that
God,
you're
bro.
getting at. Though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like success is very it's defined in like two different ways nowadays. I feel like
Eric, never. You cannot have that window open, man. What? All right.
anyway, people think like success is money, but success is happiness and
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a balance, like everything.
Yeah.
Eric, that window can never pop up on stream. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
they're right next to each other though.
What? But why were you in the Windows tab to begin with?
Anyone just see my help?
You had to pause.
Because the buttons are right next to each other.
Wait, so it's been running the whole time?
What?
The video's been running the whole time?
No.
Okay, whatever. What were we talking about? I don't know, Mike Davis's thing. Okay.
More money, more problems.
Okay, we were talking about feminism, right? So,
Oh yeah, that too.
what's your definition of feminism?
The belief that men and women are equal.
Okay.
That's it.
So feminism is about equality.
Yes,
Okay.
purely, in my opinion.
What's your sense of feminism?
Definitely equality. It's kind of funny to see how like when people start to like name movements that are like, I don't know what happens to like an idea and a belief once it gets a movement. Why does it become so bullied? Like, why is it when people stand up for like feminism?
Are you talking about feminism being bullied?
like what happened
I
to
feel
the
like
word
because
feminism and
it's
why
become
was it?
such like a movement where it's like uplifting women by degrading men.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
The
yeah.
same
Hold
thing
on,
as
wait,
the
wait,
alpha
wait,
male.
hold on,
It's like
hold
the
on.
small dick
Mentality.
energy.
Yo,
Like,
hold
it's
on,
like-
please. Before we give our response, let's allow them to define what a feminist is.
Sorry.
Oh, you. Oh, me?
Yeah. Well, you didn't identify
Yeah,
as
I
a
didn't-
feminist,
yeah.
right?
I think that we live in a society where, I think that feminism is about liberty and about freedom for all people, for all beings. And so that by supporting, and people have their different definitions of feminism, but by like generalizing feminism as a whole and saying that it means one thing is being kind of ignorant to the many, many layers of feminism and the many ways that people have completely opposite beliefs and will still call themselves feminists. So my definition of feminism is being as free as the person next to me, regardless of their sex, regardless of their gender.
Okay. So equality or?
Yeah, equality for all
Okay.
people.
Sorry, Madison. Did you want to continue with your take?
Oh, I was just gonna say I I believe in the same things that like all of you said, like equality.
Hold on.
Bats_X donated $200. Blonde girl with the fat ass gap next to Shrek with a wig. What you need to do is get married to a dentist to fix that messed up grill. Catch braces, not bodies.
I already had
Discount
braces.
Kate Beckinsale.
I
You
like
are
your gap.
truly a
Me
diamond
too.
in
I
the
think it's
rough.
cool.
Why are you so mad?
Who's
I love my
discount?
gap. If you check my Instagram, it says "girl with the gap" literally on there. It definitely makes me money. So
And why are you
It's
so
unique.
mad?
Did
Yeah.
you comment this just to come for me?
Who's discount Kate Beckinsale? Who's
What?
discount? Who is discount Kate Beckinsale?
Who
Yo,
is
Victor,
Kate
thank you, man.
Beckinsale?
Hey, Eric, can you pull up Victor's Instagram? It should be on the tab. Victor is one of our longtime supporters. I want to ask the girls, like, would you date this guy?
let's see. Is this the guy who just said something rude?
Oh.
Yeah, this is the guy. This is check out his Instagram. Scroll up. You can scroll up a little bit. All right, Victor, can you pull up that first photo of him?
No.
Yo, did you see all these comments? That's from us. Yo, go to everyone in the chat. Pull up his Instagram and like I want you to put that emoji where there's like the fingernails and it's the nail polish.
The one that looks like this.
Yeah, the nail polish emoji. I want you to spam his comments with the nail polish emoji, guys. All right, sweet. Would you guys date him?
No.
No, huh? Because of what he said, or just because of his?
No, I mean I'm not really attracted to him.
Oh. Rip. Sorry, Victor. Okay. Anybody else?
And also he's
Shania,
rude.
would you be? Are you down for him?
I'm good, but thank you.
What the? All right.
Did he ever go on that, or did he ever keep?
He doesn't
talking
like
to
my
that one
gap,
girl?
so
The what?
Did he ever keep talking to what's her face?
Oh, I don't.
Probably
Probably
You
not.
don't know?
Probably not.
I wanted to touch on when you guys said equality, because I think that's an interesting word to use. And I want to preface this by saying I believe in we have the same rights under the eyes of God in America, and I will always fight for that. But I don't think men and women are equal. I don't think you can compare men and women. I think they're intrinsically different. And so that's my problem with feminism. While they degrade men, they also are trying to make women more like men. And women are special and unique in our own ways, and femininity is special. And I think that there's a lot of things that women should aim for that's different than men. And I think we should embrace that we're unique and different. And I think a lot of feminism has brought out the worst qualities of men and are trying to make women follow those qualities, especially when it comes to hookup culture.
But how do you feel about like the alpha male culture, like the new culture with like Andrew Tate and all them?
I think that's a complete like rebellion to feminism, that you're producing kind of this hyper masculine culture. And there's some parts that, you know, I agree. I think we need more masculinity in the US. I think men have been degraded in this country, and I think they've been torn down, and I think they're told that masculinity is toxic. Masculinity is not toxic. Masculinity is the most important thing to make a country.
But there is toxic masculinity traits.
There's bad traits that men have that are not good, but I think women enable that. When we have a culture where you sleep around with guys, you enable toxic masculinity. You enable guys to take advantage of your body and use you as like a credit card for sex rather than making that man work for you. So I think it's like, what I find funny is that feminism brings out that so-called toxic masculinity, and we allow like the quote unquote, I hate using this word, but like really the patriarchy to take advantage of us and use our bodies, and instead of work for us, build a family with us and treat us with respect and dignity.
I can hear and understand what you're saying completely, but I also think it's important, while acknowledging the pitfalls of feminism in areas where it may be, you know, harmful and degrade men, to also recognize where feminism has been necessary and fundamental for women's survival and safety.
Sure, in 1950s, but it's gone too far.
Look at violence rates. Like, if you look at violence rates, you know, majority of crimes, violent crimes are committed by men. Like, that's a true statistic. And when we're thinking about violence, for example, you know, there's no liberty there. There's no freedom. If somebody's threatening your life, then, and obviously women commit violent crimes too, but, you know, if we're looking at the statistics, men do commit more violent crimes than women. And so when somebody is having a violent crime being committed against them, there is no liberty there. There is no freedom. And if we look at the roots of even marriage, men were permitted to beat their wives. So it is still part of our history.
Fake
and
news.
Feminism.
But those
Fake
are
news.
laws that have been overturned. And I'll say this, the whole hookup culture allows women to become victims of sexual violence and abuse. It's not safe for a woman to meet a man at a bar and go home with him. Someone she doesn't know, someone her friends don't know. You put yourself in a very, very risky situation doing that. But instead, feminism, instead of talking about that, how that is a huge cause of sexual violence, they're encouraging women to do that. They're saying, go be like a man, go have sex with a random guy. And women, just biologically, we have more implications when we have sex with a guy. We could become pregnant. We put ourselves at risk for sexual abuse and violence. And like we talked about earlier, women become more attached to men. So I think it actually leads a lot of women to depression when they're engaging in this meaningless hookup culture.
But I don't think the feminism or our feminist is them saying, oh, go f- everybody. I don't think that's what it's about.
But that's a sexual revolution. It was, you know, we should be like men. And
maybe that's the radical
But
one,
women are
and
exposed
not
to
should be shamed for their bodies, which...
If women go to meet men at a bar, or they go on a walk in their neighborhood in the morning, they're still vulnerable to being, you know, violently attacked.
Men are more likely to be victims of violent crime. So
yeah,
just because you feel more vulnerable doesn't actually mean you are.
But walking on a street, you're way less likely to be harmed by a violent crime than going home with a man from a bar that you don't know and going to his bedroom, and you could easily...
Even if...
I just
we're
think
definitely not saying, oh, go do that. That's not.
Well, I think that's part of the sexual revolution. It's encouraging women to do what they want with their bodies, and as long as it's two consenting individuals, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think there's something completely wrong with using sex like transactional.
No, yeah, I agree. I think you should only be having sex with someone that you fully know you want to maybe be with or commit to. I'm not saying to just go have sex with anybody. I don't do that. I don't have sex on the first date with anybody, or even the second or third, like, you know what I mean, like, or fourth, like,
which I think is good, but that's a
Generally
sexual
speaking,
revolution.
though, yeah.
But sex is also a power women have that has been stripped from them for generations.
How
And
so?
What?
But how is it empowering to have sex with a guy that uses your body and then discards you like you're nothing?
that might not be empowering to you, and maybe like the way that you're wording, but to some women, having casual sex might be empowering to them. And who am I to say that it's not, if it maybe has been fundamental on their life journey, if it's taught them about what they want in relationships? Like, who are we to say and discard her experiences?
I mean, I think we are to say that that's a bad cultural trend that doesn't lead women towards success, happiness. I think it leads women towards depression. I already mentioned, I think it puts women at risky situations. And I think it enables toxic masculinity, quote unquote, and the patriarchy. You're allowing men to just use your body.
Yeah,
but like, I
and
would say we shame women and say, oh, like, you're a slut, or I don't know if I'm not say that, but like, you're doing that, like, it's bad. But then men, it's like they say, oh, like, go have 20 women, go do this or that, and then half the time they don't even be wearing protection,
Well,
and
we
then
should
they're
say
they're
that
the
to
ones
them.
who are giving the STDs.
I completely disagree with men being promiscuous as well, but there is just the reality that women can fall pregnant. Men can't. There's a way bigger risk as a woman. You are biologically, we're smaller than men. We're at a risk when we engage in casual sex that men don't have that same risk. And I completely disagree with men being promiscuous as well. But I think for women, it's even more important we protect our own bodies.
But I
And
think we should
that's
be
what's
shaming
empowering.
men
Right.
as well for doing
Yeah,
that.
I totally agree. And I would shame any
That's
guy
feminism right
that
there.
goes out and.
But I'm saying if we're
we
shaming
we should
women
shame men
for doing
too.
that, it's like we should be shaming men as well. Like, you know what I mean? It's like people
Well,
are
I think we
hyping
should
men up
just-
to do this, but if a woman is with a guy, or like how you're in high school or whatever, right? And then a girl gets caught like with a guy or something, everyone's like, ew, she's a whore, da 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 da. But then the guy doesn't, everyone's praising him.
I think we should encourage a culture where people there's a sacred element to sex between two people who love each other and are committed to each other. And like I said, I don't think we should degrade that. And I agree with you that I don't think we should be encouraging anybody to be promiscuous, men or women. But there's a certain risk that women incur that's more than men, which is why I think throughout history there's more of a societal
I
stigma.
mean, there's still a risk for men with getting STDs, and half the time they aren't using protection.
And there's a risk for men where if you're in a room alone with a woman you don't know and she claims that you raped her,
Bro.
and he
Or
may
not,
have
he's
he
at
may
work.
have not, but that's also a risk that men incur as well. So
And vice versa.
yeah, the whole situation I just think is so toxic and horrible
Yeah.
for our society.
It is. And also, if you think about it, then the man will have a kid with a woman that he doesn't know and then leaves. And then now that baby is growing up with mental issues, baby daddy issues,
Exactly.
trauma,
Yeah,
which is what
that's a big
makes
problem
all
with sorry.
exactly.
It's a big problem. Like what I like kind of have dabbled into in my little feminist ways has been the abortion industrial complex, and how that's really disproportionately affected women, because basically we are telling men that
And
you can,
black women specifically.
yeah, exactly, that you can just fuck me. It does not matter.
Yeah.
Like, because I can go tomorrow and get an abortion.
Okay.
And that I'm not saying that I disagree with abortion necessarily, but I'm saying that it's something to think about.
Thank you,
that
Flan
we
Life.
are allowing men to just say, yeah, no, it's cool. Like, I'll just go get it fixed. And then you're left with the emotional trauma and the pain
Yes.
from having that
That
abortion.
gives them
Yes.
the validation to do that more
They
often.
don't have to
keep
go
doing it
to a
again.
clinic and do that. The emotional trauma, I'm very pro-life because I believe it's such a horrible thing for a woman to kill her own child. I think it's against nature. I think it's against every single thing inside of a woman.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so important that sex is sacred, because there are those implications that men do not have. And as women, we should be holding men to a higher standard instead of lowering ourselves to theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should be leading on that.
But it's also important to acknowledge where is the man's responsibility. And I
Yeah.
think that's what when we're talking about feminism, as of course can agree with you that there are ways that people can take it to an extreme that's harmful for men. You have to acknowledge the flip side and acknowledge where are men not showing up in that regard and not taking care of women in that regard. Like,
Completely.
we're both the wounder and the wounded.
I think
Thank you,
women have
AB
allowed
Check.
that.
Go ahead.
I think women have allowed men to take advantage of us through feminism, and I think it's, like I said, it's brought out the worst of men
because
instead
it's
of the best.
put under this guise of like, oh, I'm empowered because I can make the decision to go and do this. But are you really empowered if he's just coming in you and then saying bye-bye?
using your body.
Yeah, and just
I
using
mean,
your body
I don't know
for
if that's
fun.
a feminist.
But it's also it's a
it's a
complicated.
product
But
of feminism. That's
a
the
sexual
problem.
revolution.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't
that
really know much about
women should be like men,
Yes.
and men throughout history have slept around.
I figured that the sexual revolution was
Wait,
like the
hold on. Men
popularization
throughout
of like
history have slept
sex
around.
and media.
More than
That's
women,
part
I
of
would
it.
say in
It's like
general.
it's all over
definitely
TV.
part of
It's
it.
in
It
every
happened
TV